Hey guys, it's Bart Johnson here. Now, I know I'm a little bit late to the party on this one because the particular product we're about to look at isn't exactly brand new, but anyway, we're gonna take a look today at the Aputure Tri8c LED panel. So here today I have the Aputure Tri8c LED panel. Like I said, this light has been out for a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I got some real world use with it before I really started giving my thoughts. So we're gonna go through an overview of this light today, and we're also gonna see what I think about it and is this something that I would pick up and use in my kit. Now the Tri8 is actually part of Aputure's Amaran series, as opposed to their LightStorm series. So I don't want to say that they're their lower end series, but they are their more affordable and usually less powerful options for LED lighting. And this guy sits right at the top of the Amaran series currently, and really sort of is almost bridging the gap there and blending between the Amaran series and the LightStorm series. Now, I personally use LightStorm and have never actually used Amaran lights, so we're gonna see what I think about this guy and if it can stack up to the lighting that I currently use. So the Tri8 is a small little LED panel here, and it is named Tri8 because of the 888 LEDs that are housed within it. So you can see they've really managed to cram a lot of LEDs into this fixture, which is hopefully going to give you a lot of power output from it. Now this unit has been designed a little bit differently than the sort of plastic housing traditional Amaran lights, and this guy is built to be extremely rugged. So on the front here you actually have a polycarbonate face that actually covers all of the LEDs to protect the individual LED bulbs from any damage. You can see there's no barn doors or anything on here to close it up and protect them, so it's got this polycarbonate here. And if we go ahead and spin it around, you'll also see this is where it starts to look a little bit more like the LightStorm series and a little less like the Amaran, but you can clearly see a blend between the two. So the back of the actual light itself is all metal and has these heat sink fins in it, which is very reminiscent of the LightStorm LS1 panels. Now, unlike the LightStorm panels, the control box for this is actually built onto the back of the unit here. So you have this entire control box that is really just bolted on to the back of this fixture, and you can control everything and power the entire light directly from here as opposed to having a separate control box. Again, very similar to the way it's done with the Amaran series lights. Now if we go through some of the features on here, there is a clip up here which you can put a power brick in to run this off of AC power. This can also be removed, and you can attach an included VMount plate on there so that you can run this off of VMount battery power. And that would go and connect in the side to a D-tap port that is located right here. Now, you also have the option of powering this light with Sony style batteries, and they do actually include two large Sony style batteries in the case with this thing. And that is awesome. You don't have to worry about tracking down batteries. You got two large ones right here that are gonna run the light for a good amount of time. If you come over to the side here, you can see that we have a little bit more of an industrial look. You've got this power on and off switch right here that gets the unit up and running. There you go. And you also have a dial here that does brightness, and on this particular unit, since it is the Tri8c, it is bicolor, and so a click of this allows you to go ahead and start adjusting the color temperature as well. Now, when you're doing that and adjusting everything, if you look on the back here, you can see there's this nice little LCD screen, a nice readout that gives you all the information that you're going to need in terms of your color temperature that you're at, the percentage that you're at. It even has a battery life meter on here telling you how much time you have left on your particular batteries. And it also allows you to set the group and channel for remote controlling this light. So like most of the lights in the Aputure lineup, both Amaran and LightStorm, this light is remote controllable, which is awesome. Click it on, click it off, no problem right there. So you can put this light in a location where you can't necessarily get to it, and you can control everything from the brightness and color temperature directly from the remote. And this is something that I absolutely love. And this is the same remote that works with all of the Amaran lights and all of the other LightStorm lights. And so you don't need to have a different remote for different systems. One remote, set them on the channel, set them on the group that you want, and you're off and running. All your lights can work together. So here you go. I've got my remote right here. So I've got some LightStorm lights. So I'm going to start killing those. Boom, boom. You can see those are off. And now kill this light as well. So bring everything back. There you go. One remote, entire light system, entire light family taken care of. So like more and more of the Aputure lights these days, this does come with its own high quality case. It actually comes in this case right here. It's kind of like a rigid canvas case. It's really, really nice. Even has a fashionable little buckle here in the front to open it. But in here you open it up and you get absolutely everything that you need, including the batteries like I mentioned before. You have your power brick, you have cabling for AC power right there, and you also have a D-tap cable, which is actually how you connect even the AC power brick to the control unit to add power to the light. So everything that you need is actually included in this box, and they also give you a little tiny collapsible softbox that attaches to it. It's called the Easy Box, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm not too impressed with that particular softbox, but it also has, you know, the plate that if you want to go ahead and run it off of VMount power, you can go ahead and do that. I'll talk about this a little bit later too, but basically in true Aputure fashion, you get an awesome bag and you get absolutely everything you need to be off and running right away. So one of the cool things about the Tri8c here, and actually one of the reasons that I wanted to get the bi-color model to test as opposed to the daylight only model, is the fact that it has an amazing color range. Now you are giving up a little bit of output, roughly probably 40 to 50%, because you are splitting those 888 LEDs between half daylight and half tungsten balance. But what's really cool with this light is this has a super extended range of colors that it can hit. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now I have it set to 5600 to match the lighting that I'm using right now. So it should look pretty pure white. But we can take this guy even higher and even lower than any other lights that I've used recently. So if we go here and we click over to our color temperature using that dial, we can start increasing it. And we can go all the way up to 6800 Kelvin on the daylight spectrum. So right now this light should look a little bit blue, and that is because it is putting out 6800. It's cooler light than what we have in my 5600 lights right now. Now here's where it gets really crazy. If we go down the other way and closer towards the tungsten end of the spectrum, so we're coming down, and it's nice that it moves in 100-degree increments, very easy to control. But look at that. We go all the way down to 2300. Now 2300, as you can see, is extremely warm. It looks very, very orange. And it's just awesome to be able to have that range in this light to go all the way from 6800 to 2300 and have 100-degree increments in between. So one thing I obviously wanted to do, guys, was test the color quality and the output of this light. And I also wanted to see how those numbers fared at different color temperatures, since it does have such a wide range. So I took it at both its maximum 6800 and its minimum 2300, and also some of the most commonly used 5600 for daylight lights and 3200 for tungsten lights. And I went ahead and put it 6 feet away and ran a test. So let's go ahead and put those results up on the screen for you guys right now. As you can see, here are the 4 color temperatures that I tested, and from 6 feet, I took a measurement with my color meter. I was checking for color temperature to see how accurate it is, checking for lux to see what kind of output we're getting, and also checking the CRI and the TLCI. So you guys can see all of those numbers right there. And you can see an interesting kind of trend here. Obviously, you're getting a little bit more output in terms of lux as you get towards the middle of the spectrum, and that's because you are utilizing both some of the tungsten and some of the daylight LEDs sort of mixed, and so you're getting a little bit more output, whereas at the extremes, you're either using just the tungsten ones or just the daylight ones to get those extreme values, and so you're getting a little bit less output, but still the output numbers are pretty decent. So like I said, guys, I have been holding on to this light and this review for a while, and that's because I wanted to try and figure out how I would actually use a light like this. So I did assist some friends doing a short film project, and I brought the Tri8c along, and we did find some uses for it. We threw it into the mix with all of our other lighting. We were using some traditional tungstens, we were using a lot of Aputure lights, we were using some quasar lights, but we did actually get the Tri8 into the mix, and it did perform pretty well. But the real way that I think I would use this light, and what I think one of the main strengths of it, is that wide color temperature range available in the bicolor unit, the Tri8c. I would use this as a sort of stylized light. So say you want to light a scene, but you want it to look like really blue, maybe moonlight or doing something outside, and it's supposed to be evening, but you need light. You can dial that, you know, to that cooler 6800, and now you're playing with some of your colors in camera as opposed to trying to gel it or trying to tweak your color temperature in post or anything like that. So that's great. And then on the other end of the spectrum, say you want to do something where you need to mimic firelight or something like that, or you know, if somebody's in a cave or, you know, there's a campfire going. Dialing it all the way down to this super orange 2800 is awesome because you're getting a very, very orange light. You know, it's not going to look normal, but it is giving you a stylized effect. So I would probably mainly use this light for those sort of stylized extreme color temperatures. And I think it's gonna slide into that as sort of an effects light, for me at least, quite nicely. But as you know, no light is absolutely perfect, and I do have some qualms with this light, and I want to go through those with you guys right now. The first is, even though they've designed it with this rugged sort of design, as they called it, to me, it seems a little prototypey. It doesn't look like a polished and finished product. And something specifically that demonstrates sort of that unfinished feeling for me is this power brick clasp up here at the top. It really is just a little metal clasp that flips open, no spring or anything, and then it's just this bare metal where you insert your power brick. And to be honest, some of the edges of this are actually pretty sharp. So it really doesn't feel like an elegant or even possibly a safe solution. It does work, it does what it's supposed to do, but you know, I feel like there could have been a better solution for this if they really wanted to mount that power brick up here on the light. And another issue I have with this light has to do with powering it, and that is when you try and use VMount batteries. So in order to do that, like I said, it comes with that VMount plate, and what you do is you have to unscrew these screws here and remove this clasp. And there are some little plastic standoffs underneath which aren't attached, and so you get a little accessory bag with all these standoffs, and you need to line it up and you need to put your plate on there and you need to get it screwed in, and it's not something quick. It's not something you're going to be switching back and forth on set. You know, you're going to be either AC power brick or you're going to be, you know, using a VMount plate. It's not something that can be done quickly. And the other thing is, my particular VMount batteries, I don't think they're like super wide. I don't consider them to be, but they do not fit when the plate is attached. They rub up against the control unit and I just can't get them to seat properly. I have seen a lot of other people having this issue. I'm not sure what's up. I tried all different configurations with mounting the plate to try and give myself more room. I just couldn't get it to work. So for me, the VMount plate is probably never going on this. It runs a long time, over 2 hours at 100% with the included Sony style batteries. So this really probably isn't going to be a VMount light for me. Another thing that's not fantastic that I don't like very much is the mounting here for attaching it to a stand. So this piece is completely plastic. It seems rugged enough, but I wish it weren't plastic. I wish they had a little bit of a nicer solution for that. And the way that it attaches to the bottom of the light, there's actually just a piece of metal here with a 1/4-20, and you just screw this spigot directly into it, and that's how you attach the light to it. I feel like there could have been a better solution for this. Once again, this is something that works. I'm just being a bit nitpicky, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more robust solution here, especially if you're billing this as being the tough and rugged light. And the final thing that I'm not a super big fan of is that little softbox that came with the light. There are attachment points on the side here for the little softbox. It even has a note that says that these attachment points are strictly for that softbox. It's just a little bit of a hassle to put together. I don't know really how effective it is, and I really just don't see myself utilizing it. It's nice that they include it, and maybe you'll get some use out of it, but for me, it's probably never going on here. So I know I just spent a few minutes kind of picking apart some of the details of this light, but I don't want to write it off and knock it down completely, guys. It still is overall a really, really great light. It is rugged, so if you are in some tougher environments or sets, it is going to hold up for the most part. It has tons of powering options, so you've got lots of options there. It's well built. I like the screen in the back where you can see all of your controls and what you're doing. And overall, I do think it is a decent light. I think that it could, for certain people, be used as a key light, as your main light. Like I said, I usually use LightStorm lights, but they are more expensive, and those are just what I've chose to invest in. But if you don't have any lights, or you're looking to upgrade from some of the lower end Amaran lights, I think this could be a great upgrade for you. I could see somebody getting a 3-light kit of these and being able to do some interview work or short film work, no problem. So I do think it has the ability to act as a key if that's what you want to do with it. And the other thing, the way I'm going to be mainly using it, is it's fantastic for that stylized color temperature, for those custom kind of looks and effects. And that's where this light is going to lie in my kit. It's going to be that one when, okay, we need to do a campfire scene, or we need to do a fake television glow with that 6800. So that is fantastic that it has that range, and I think as a stylized light, I'm going to be really happy with this. So there you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on the Aputure Amaran Tri8c LED light. I hope you guys found all the information in this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give this video a like, and make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and click that notification bell so you get notified whenever I have gear reviews, tips, live shows, or anything going on my channel. You'll be the first to know about it, and you can come and check it out. So guys, stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.